Greetings from Kilkenny. Currently staying in Nor Valley Park, which is a caravan camping site and farm, as you can see. Sorry for the noise, that's my focus ring. Anyway, doing a bit of radio, portable radio. There is my Frankenstein antenna. As you can see here, it's just two lengths of 2.5mm core electrical wire, which is what I use. It's my standard sort of antenna wire, attached to a oscilloscope probe setup, because there's a BNC on the other end, which I'll show you. And this here block here makes it easy to connect everything up. My intention was initially to use a proper dipole, but turns out the coax for leading from the dipole back to the radio was broken, and I didn't bring the tools to fix it. Typical me. So let's have a look inside. It's quite a nice little area here. Oh, the kids are making a mess.
I wouldn't have my new friend if he wouldn't have.
Here's my little rig. Oh, here's the antenna I wanted to use. Bit of a mess, as you can see. So this is the Elecraft KX3. Nice little rig. What's going on here? There's a contest on today.
There is?
There is.
Are you talking to us or are you talking to your video?
The video.
Okay. So I'm just waiting.
Okay.
We're doing different colours.
The antenna isn't optimal. Oh, there we go. Ah, Italy. If we go down the lower end of the band, we get into the data modes and Morse.
Can I make that?
Is that Ritty? That's Ritty. No, that's Ritty. It is. And this is down into the PSK phase shift keying. And all these individual channels you're hearing are data. So people are actually having communications typing using their computer. And this is usually where JT65 and JT9 congregates. If you can just, those tones you hear, they're very efficient for long distance communication. I can focus in on one. See, it's hard to do in this. Let's get down to the Morse code section. Put in Morse code mode so I can focus in on one. Well, this radio does actually have a little Morse code key that straps on the bottom, but I don't have it. I have it, but I haven't plugged it in because my Morse code isn't that great, to be honest with you. Go down to 7 meters, which is, sorry, 40 meters is where I want to. And we're back a week later. When I was away in Kilkenny, I didn't bring my charger for the camera battery, and the battery ran dead in the middle of my little session there when I was trying to test out the Frank antenna. Unfortunately, Frank antenna didn't work very well, so unfortunately there wasn't a lot to show. But anyway, I'm back here in Dublin in my shed, and I thought I'd actually show you what the KX3 is like for those people who are interested. Now, ham radio people will know all about the KX3. This is more for the people who don't do ham radio and are interested in ham radio or radio communications in general. It's a very portable HF ham radio, and by HF we mean anything from 1.6 megahertz up to 50 megahertz, which is called the 6 meter band. So it covers all the main ham radio bands except VHF and UHF, and VHF and UHF is the local sort of communications that you typically use a handy talkie for, a handheld radio. You can actually modify this to work on UHF or VHF using an add-on board that you add inside, but I haven't got that because I've got a couple of handheld radios anyway, so I didn't see the need. Currently it's working on CW. These here are the key, the Morse paddles, so you can carry this around with you. My Morse isn't very good. It does have a built-in Morse decoder, but it isn't very good at all, to be honest with you. I can also do PSK decoding and RTTY decoding, which are two popular data communication methods. Again, a bit hit and miss whether they work or not. I've been struggling since I got it to get them working, so maybe I'm just missing something, but there is a mountain of settings on this radio, an absolute mountain you wouldn't believe. But I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll go into a voice mode and see if I can get a listen in on a voice communication. The bands are very quiet today, so it's a weekday and it's quite sunny, and summer's generally not the best time of year for this sort of communication. HF communication is long distance, so VHF is line of sight, UHF is line of sight. This is the sort of communication that gets you talking to someone across the world. In terms of functionality, there's very little that's in this that isn't, say, in the big base rig there, the Kenwood TS590, except this only pumps out 12 watts maximum, this pumps out 100, which can make a bit of a difference. But generally, the higher the power, the less return you get on your investment in ham radio. It's all about efficiency and a good quality signal. That's more important than sheer raw power. Of course, if you've got a very good signal, very pure, clean signal, and more power, it will go further. But first of all, you want to get your signal sorted out first before applying more power. Generally, the narrower the signal, so there's a hierarchy. So generally AM, okay, I'll start again. Say you have 100 watts of power going out. An AM signal is quite wide, so that'll go less further. Your SSB signal, which is basically half of an AM signal. And, so basically, if you can imagine a voice waveform, you split the top half of the bottom half off, depending if it's upper or lower sideband, and it gets to the other receiver. The other half is regenerated because it's a sine wave. You can regenerate the half you cut off, but because you're only using half the bandwidth for the same power, it travels a bit further than AM. And then you get down into the data modes, such as PSK. Again, less bandwidth, goes further because you've got a more concentrated signal. And then there's continuous wave, which is Morse code, which is the most basic form of modulation, which is just basically transmitter on and off. There are some new exotic modes such as JT65 and JT9. These are digital modes which can actually work below the noise floor, so literally something that you can't actually hear with your own ear. But they're a bit of a cheat, because what happens is you have to have your computers aligned with an atomic clock at each end, so that when you transmit a signal, the other computer knows when to start looking for the signal that's hidden in the background noise. So it's a bit of a cheat, but they're very efficient. Let's see if I can get, what are we getting here? So, let's go with a band. I might not actually get anything. Oh. Sorry. Yeah, bands are a bit dead today. Okay, I'll go down to the bottom, see if there's anything around here. There's always something in 3 and 80 metres. A couple of data signals. I've picked a bad time to do this. Back to... Oh. Delta Lima, that's a German station. So that's voice. I'm not going to communicate now because it would be awkward. But yeah, no, it's a nice little portable rig. So what I'm going to do now is stop and show you the inside. Now what sets this apart from a lot of other portable radios is it's, and ham radios in general, it's very easy to get inside. You have these little thumb screws here that let you in, and it's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and if you just pull it apart, easier said than done, and carefully, actually you know something, I need to take off the Morse key. Everything is very dismantleable. Of course you can actually plug in your own Morse key if you want to, because this is actually quite a lightweight one. A lot of Morse code enthusiasts buy these huge, heavy, chunky keys that weigh 2 or 3 kilograms, made out of solid steel, or sometimes even have lead inserts or brass. I'm not really that much into Morse, although I should be better at it, because it is the oldest sort of form of radio communication. Let's see, I don't want to wreck the ribbon. Now we'll have a look inside. And the first thing that you'll notice is AA batteries. Yes, this will run off AA batteries. It takes 8 of them, and you get, I'd say, a couple of hours reception, or maybe an hour or 2 if you're doing a mix of talking and receiving. So not bad at all. And there is also a charging board which slots in somewhere around here to take nickel metal hydride batteries, but I don't use that. This little doohickey here, that's actually the antenna tuning unit. This is an optional extra, which you can get. I chose to get it. Now, remember my antenna tuning video, which is a few videos back. You might want to have a look at that and see, to explain what antenna tuning is all about. This is a fairly fancy modern one. These are little relays, so when you tune in the radio, you'll hear a lot of clicking as they choose the best pathway to choose for the signal, because all these various toroids have different are used in, they're sort of grouped together, and a pathway is formed through to tune the antenna. So instead of using this kind of antenna tuner where you've got big knobs that you turn, here you've got, like, effectively each one of these is equivalent to a turn, a different setting here. So although it's not smooth, it's good enough. I do hope that made sense. But anyway, yeah, it's a fancy form of modern automatic antenna tuner that just press a button and it tunes in. Underneath here you can fit a VHF board as well, so if you wanted VHF or UHF, you can't have both, oddly. And here's some more circuitry here. This is actually a pure SDR radio, so it's all, there's no traditional sort of oscillators and mixers and whatever else on the board. It's all, the signal is pulled in off air, sampled digitally, and then decoded digitally, so that means it's sort of theoretically infinitely upgradable, so long as the manufacturers have got the RAM available on the board to take more code. But there you go. That's the rig. It's a very, very tolerant of voltage sources. Sorry, different voltages for powering. So, for example, when you plug in from the side, use the plug-in power adapter on the side, sorry, the mains adapter. It'll happily take anything from 6 up to 15, I believe, and it'll work. And it'll actually intelligently adjust the output power. So, although this can work on can push out 12 watts when it's operating on its ideal voltage of 13.8. If you put in 12 volts, you might get 11 watts output. If you put in 6 volts, you might only get 5 watts output. So it adjusts itself. So it's very tolerant of different voltages. So, but there you go. If you're looking for the ultimate portable communication system, you'd be hard pressed to beat this, because it's pocketable. It can be powered from various sources. It can do data, kind of. It does voice. It does Morse code, voice and Morse code very well. built-in antenna tuner, so you can use virtually any antenna and find a band that it works on. And yeah, it's very nice. And it comes in two forms. You can get it in a kit, which I did, and build it yourself, or you can buy them ready-made. There is also a new model called the KX2, which is even smaller than this. It's about that size there. It's half the size of this. Lacks some of the features that this one does. So I believe it's there's no antenna tuner, and you can't use the add-on boards. So you're kind of, there's less expandability to it. But it's actually half the size of this. So there's also that as well. But I love the KX3. It's a nice little radio. And if you're the sort of person who you're getting into ham radio, or you want some way to communicate long distances in the middle of nowhere, say get your ham radio license and get one of these. You won't be disappointed. Cheerio. Bye.